Welcome. You did last week's introduction. I can do this week's introduction.
This is so boring.
No, my introductions are good. I am your host, Paul, and this is my trusty sidekick.
That's not a good way to talk to the camera. Come on now. She's very dedicated.
This is my trusty sidekick. Justin, you can speak. You are also on the podcast. You gotta
I'm waiting for the proper introduction for the awesomeness that is me.
Do your proper introduction.
Oh, I don't feel like it now. We're doing a movie review! Yay! That's what we're actually supposed to be doing all the time.
No, we're supposed to
do it. Never. Oh, you're such a pain in the ass.
All right, so this is this is actually our first. Well, it's more of yours because I was unable to do it.
You lazy bastard.
I was at work. This is what? Is this our first movie review in the sense of doing it from the streaming side of things?
Maybe. I don't remember.
Because most time we do movie reviews, we're at the theaters.
Yeah.
I mean,
oh,
the one episode we did was the Mortal Kombat one, but that was...
No, Becky went to theaters. It's just, it was like at the drive-ins, I didn't believe it was. Which I probably would have preferred to give away a little bit. This movie was awesome. I had so much fun.
Yeah, he was literally texting me last night about... And it
was about like midnight.
Now, let's make this clear. We've watched hundreds of movies.
Way too many movies.
Way too many movies. And the thing that he said last night was, you would put this.
My words were I'd put it in the top 5 of the year so far.
Of the year?
Yeah.
How many? Well, yeah, we reviewed already a lot of movies for the year, but...
I got a list at home.
Yeah, we got
this
lit. Yeah, my printouts too that he doesn't like. So before we get into the movie, talk about your experience with the idea of streaming watching a movie from home that you would watch in the theater. How did that work for you?
I'd rather have seen it in theaters.
What made you like why would you want to see it in theaters compared to...
Just because of how the movie is, and it would have been so much better with the full surround sound and food and the giant screen. We'll get into parts I would have liked to see on the big screen when we get to it.
Alright, so go ahead and give us the rundown. Let's talk about the plot, the story.
Alright, so...
Talk about the plot.
Basically, the movie starts out where you get like polarizing angles and you go back and forth between prison fight scene going on and an altercation going on at school. You're kind of drawing parallels between, not really parallels, but what's happening in these situations with Becky and Dominic. Dominic being the lead villain.
Okay.
And you learn right off the back that Dominic is neo-Nazi with the giant Nazi emblem on the back of his head. And he's kind of controlling this little group of people that cause an outburst and set up for the escape later. And Becky's kind of like, not an outcast student in a way. Like you see her taking a test, but she's not actually taking the test, she's just doodling. Which is kind of relatable. I did that in high school.
It shows.
It does show. That's why I'm here. But then she gets picked up early by Dad, and she's going somewhere, and Dad's trying to tell her like what's going on, but she's not really listening. And she stops off for gas, and instead of him buying her something, she steals gummies from the store. And while she's doing that, you see on the news that the prisoners had escaped to transport, which is Dominic and his own group.
Okay.
And you find out her mom had died of cancer, and she's really rebelling because of this. And you finally get to the summer home.
Okay.
And she gets this huge good moment of him telling her that he changed his mind, they're not going to sell the summer home, which was her mom's favorite place.
Right.
But just as she's celebrating this good moment, mom's girlfriend and her son show up, and that kind of ruins the moment for her, because what is she doing here? And she gets even more angry when she finds out that they got engaged and are getting married, and through all these changes, so she's kind of already angry, and she leaves the house, and she's hiding in this little fort, and Dominic and his group show up, and they take over the house, and they go after Becky, and all hell just
Now,
proceeds from there.
why? So the question was like regarding why do these villains go after Becky?
Well, they're not after them per se. They're looking for a key that's in the basement.
And what does the key do?
Well, that's the great thing. They never tell you. They never tell you. It's a giant skeleton key that they want because what it unlocks will fix the races. Like, dude, this guy's neo-Nazi to the core.
Okay.
His group are for the Brotherhood and
So this is like some like documents for like from Hitler or something.
documents or weapon or something. But they want the key that was in the basement that Becky stole.
Oh, so
she did it before without even realizing it. Like, it was just in the house when they bought it and everything. And she took the key, and it's actually in her fort.
Okay, so it's not like
And
the key was in the family's basement's home the entire time.
No, it was like in this basement the entire time, and they just didn't know it.
Okay, wow.
And well, Becky did because she found it and put it in her fort.
So, you mentioned
They take it over and they're questioning everyone, and they realize that there's this Becky kid missing. And if no one knows, then maybe Becky knows, and of course Becky does.
right.
So they try to torture the dad, and in the process he breaks free and gets shot when Becky's trying to bring them the key.
Okay.
And she retaliates by stabbing Dominic in the eye with this skeleton key, popping his eyeball out and hauling ass in the opposite direction. It is wonderful. Just wonderful. And from there she just goes crazy.
Now, the best way you were talking about this off camera. What's the best way to describe this film?
Well, it wasn't really my way. It's just the way that I read it. It was like a Home Alone on rabies. Just blood-filled Home Alone. And I do disagree to a point. Like, Home Alone did these, like, extravagant traps. Like, he took out the floorboards and they fell in the hole because they don't look down.
Yeah.
Like, this one trap, she got him to lure the guy out to the dock. He tripped over tripping line and fell on a board with nails sticking out. And then started beating him with this 2x4 that had 2 nails in it. And of course that doesn't kill him right away, so just little nails, and she's just whacking on him over and over and over.
This is more like Hostile meets Home Alone. What are you talking?
Just brutal, the brutality in this movie throughout.
So
it's great, because none of the traps feel like they're like, how does this person... Like, no, this is like like fishing wire and boards with nails. The most extravagant thing in this is like maybe the motorboat propeller or the lawnmower.
Just mind you guys, this contains spoilers. We're like, what, 10 minutes into the episode? And
well, I'll throw the spoiler warning on the top of it. It'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll have it in the descriptions so you guys know.
I want to first, we're going to talk about the cast here a little bit. I think Lulu Wilson will haunt my dreams forever. Like, her sitting by the fire just singing the song at the end when she's getting Dominic to come over is just so well shot and framed and just makes her look so insane. Right. In that moment, she's just gone. And Dominic, we need more villains like Dominic in this world.
Who is played by...
Kevin James, of all people. Kevin James needs to be a villain for the rest of his career.
I forgot, like, when you came to me last week and, we were talking about our ideas for the shows to do, and you brought up this film. I looked it up, and I'm like, I seen the trailer, I'm like, wait, Kevin James is in this film. How weird. Did he, like...
Well, he played it so perfectly, 'cause I don't think...
Are we literally saying Kevin James is, like, underrated now? Like,
yeah, in a villain way, he is. Like, this is really good villain. Like, I'm tired of sympathetic villains. I've had my fill. And you don't feel bad for Dominic at all. He is just... He's quiet, he's composed, and he's smart. He's like, we can't use a gun here, we're too close, and that punches the guy out. And the big guy, I didn't look up his name because I forgot. I did write Kurgan. Kurgan.
Oh, you mean Robert Mallet?
Was that his name? Robert?
Yeah, that was his. Yeah, when you told me that, I looked it up, and that's actually how once again goes to our wrestling roots.
He was so good. Like, he was like his big.
You are literally leaving yourself speechless. You're like, oh my god.
He was. It's like he was like that big muscle guy who's following his leader, but he's starting to come undone by like the two kids he killed at the beginning. And it's getting to him, and he doesn't want to do this, and no more kids. He keeps saying that, no more kids, and the guy's not listening. And the guy's not listening, and he finally does something, and I don't want to say it because it's the camera woman. She might not hear it. But he fights off Dominic at the end, and he's on his knees, and you're like, he's going to get a redemption. Boom, what? She shot him in the face!
Our director's just shaking her head. Like
it is.
She does. She's gonna quit.
You know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because it's so good. This movie's just from class. We rank them with the letters, and this is an S ranking all the way through.
So okay, so wow. You're giving it that high?
S high class tier. So good. No, the fact is like this isn't a movie that you're supposed to sit down and dissect every part of. It's just a fun movie with bad guys getting hurt by some deranged kid, and it's wonderful.
I mean, we've, since everything's been happening, we can't go see new movies are not coming out. We've been reviewing a lot of old stuff, and I've been like, most of the films I've been giving are literally like B and A. I have not given an S to the point where I nearly forgot the S. I'm like, I gave a couple of C's this year, a couple of B's, a couple of A's. I have not gone that far, and you're giving it the S.
S, like, between Kevin James being his villain role, Dominic, he was so quiet and methodical. Like, we don't get villains like this.
So, the plot was good. It wasn't a complicated plot or...
No, it was just, the fact they didn't tell you what was in the box. The fact that the villains are all villains. Like, you really felt Dominic was a bad guy. You don't feel bad for him.
Yeah,
and he was intelligent. He doesn't even rate. He may scream one time in this movie at somebody.
Now, you already said you're giving an S, but when you break down the categories of how you have to look at a film, so you got the acting. You agree that the acting was good.
The effects on all the blood and everything. In fact, that it was over the top, but not quite over the top like Home Alone was. Like,
you agree that
swinging paintball cans.
Right. You're agreeing that the story was a good story, right? Okay, so you're giving that one.
And they gave you reasons for her anger all throughout. Like, she was already angry.
So nothing felt random. Is that what you're basically...
This is a girl, like, going into it, like, you can tell she's been struggling since her mom. She's clearly not gotten the help she needed from this and is starting to get just angry at the world. Then you have the dad throwing this, hey, my girlfriend and her kid are here now at your mom's favorite spot that you haven't been at in a year.
And if you're a child or you grew up in a family where, like, I come from a divorce family and you get that second person to come in, it just rubs you the wrong way.
Like, it is like, this is like, does seem like the first time she's been at this place since her mom died.
Right.
And then you're like, you throw it on her, all that on her, and then go, oh, we're remarrying too. Like, oh, this is going to end well for you.
Like, oops, sorry, but...
But then you throw this group of guys in, and then they shoot her dad in front of her, and she just snaps.
Now, did the dad die?
Yes, the dad dies.
So she's literally like 13 years old by herself.
Yeah. Well, it kind of like seems like maybe his girlfriend would take her in. But at the same time, the way that final scene was shot, it looks like she's just going to go mental. And I want a Becky too, because I want to see her.
So she's going to be property of the state.
I want to see her in like 5 years down the road and how she's handling it. Because there's so much more I want to see from these characters. Grant you, the villains are dead.
Well, I mean, it could always have like a second command that wasn't there that once.
And she even has the key, because she doesn't tell anyone that she has it. That she tells the cops that they're looking for a coin. Meanwhile, the key's around her neck.
Well, there you go. So, how long was this movie?
An hour and 40 minutes.
So so it wasn't like a long movie. It wasn't in the sense of the story's too short or story's too long for the amount of time. Everything
ran at a smooth pace.
Everything, in your opinion, ran into a smooth pace. Yeah. Is there any? I mean, obviously you're giving it such a high ranking, but is there any, honestly, anything you go, I would change, or I give it a negative comment, or are you going to sit there, at least in your personal opinion, when we're reviewing, we're giving our own opinion. So, in your opinion, is there anything?
There's a brutal shot where they shoot a dog and you see the dead dog.
Oof.
Like, I'm like, oh, I bet that got a lot of people. But I didn't. That doesn't bother me. That's like, oh my god.
That dog probably made more.
But they went through the line. Oh crap! Like, it's shocking because you don't see that from a movie.
What do you mean?
You'll hear the dog coming. You see the dog coming. You hear bang bang, and maybe the dog go down. But you like see like the dog in the bullet holes, and it's like, oh my god. No, I wouldn't change anything. No, not a thing.
So nothing. You're giving this film a perfect rating.
It's so much fun. Just a fun movie, and that's what these movies are always supposed to be. Or it's like, did you have a good time? Yeah, I did. Holy crap.
So obviously this would be a movie we would have saw in a theater.
I would have loved to have seen her curb stomping the roller into the guy's neck in theaters. I would, if they ran it in theaters, like if they opened the theaters in a couple weeks and they're like, we're playing Becky, I'm going.
Even though we already did this episode.
I've seen it and done this, I'm going.
Like by the time the theater's on, this episode will be like 3 weeks old.
Justin, we gotta go see Tenet opening weekend. I'm like, no. I'm going to see Becky in this theater. You tell me how Tenet is.
Now, because you just seen it literally
12 hours ago.
Yeah, the night, the way everybody knows the way we record our episodes. You didn't happen to see like a budget or gross so far? Any numbers that?
Oh, it was only like 100,000. It was something like that. It only played in drive-thrus, from what I know. I have not gone. Don't quote me on those numbers. So I did not look too deep. I don't care about the numbers as much as Paulie does.
I talked about the numbers because it's always important because.
Yeah, you can throw
the story may be good, but the numbers don't.
You can throw those numbers in the bin with the tomato reader. Mush! Gone. Don't care.
Alright, so
look, I get that, like, movie reviews and everything, but people seem to forget that these are just opinions. These are my opinions on the movie.
Yeah, we all...
The person watching this could be like, this movie was garbage, I hated it. And I'm like, okay, get your opinion. I loved it. One of the top 5 movies of the year. Talk to me in 6 months, I guarantee it'll still be top 5 of the year.
That might be a new idea for the first episode of January when we talk about the past of 2020, because this is an interesting year to say the least.
Yeah.
I unfortunately haven't been able to, pretty much when the shutdown happened, I think the last new film of 2019 was Bad Boys 3. Did
2020?
Yeah.
Oh, I've watched quite a few 2020 ones already.
Okay.
There was a period, like 7 weeks, I was in theaters, 6 of them.
Okay. I've been trying to focus on...
I think the last new one may have been Birds of Prey, actually.
Oh... Yeah, because you were telling me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were telling me that one, which I now officially own.
I think I gave that a high grade, too. I enjoyed it. I'm enjoying a lot of movies this year. There was Underwater. I loved that movie.
You did.
I did. I loved it. I loved Birds of Prey. There was another movie that came out I loved. Sonic. Was Sonic?
Yeah.
Sonic?
Yeah. That's right. Okay. So my last film.
I gave Sonic an A, I think.
Yeah, we gave it. And I'm. To be honest with you, I'm so glad that movie was pretty much near the end of its theater run when the shutdown happened, because I felt, and this is my personal opinion, if the shutdown would have happened like 3 weeks after that movie was released and the numbers weren't there just yet, I don't see that movie getting a sequel.
I think it was. I think it did good on the opening weekend. We were so far off topic. Get back to Becky.
Yeah, the Becky, yeah. But it was just the concept of, you're giving it, top 5 already in the year 2020. That we've seen some pretty good movies.
I'd actually probably rank in top 3.
Despite that, there could still be...
your
favorite movie, Top Gun.
Throw that in the bin with the tomato reader. Right in the bin with the tomato reader.
You still have a lot more movies come out, and I mean,
It's still.
Once the theater.
I'm talking from my June perspective here.
Yeah, once the theater's open, we're probably gonna be even more busy because it's just gonna hit us like there's no tomorrow.
We have to end this video.
Yes. So until next week.
Check out Becky immediately.
We're not sponsored by them either.
Why would we be sponsored by Becky? Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.